pretty crazy, you know, being as young as I am and seeing all this stuff come to life.
For Nick Sarconi, the Gerald R Ford is more than a ship. In his short career so far, it's all he knows.
Pretty much packed up my life when I was 19 years old and moved down here.
Now at just 24 years old,
the alumni sticker kind of shows, hey, this guy made it through.
He says it's hard to believe his accomplishments have brought him to a point of service that will impact history.
He says, wake up and think I'm going to build freedom.
His skills are now a part of building this state-of-the-art aircraft carrier. Sarconi works putting catapults in place to launch jets on the flight deck.
You know you're coming here every day to help protect this nation. Really helps get you through the day.
Oh, it's a humongous responsibility, but it's a challenge that I welcome.
And it's a challenge that's nothing new for David Batdorf. The Ford is his 9th carrier he's working on.
These new ships, 78, 79, they'll surpass me now in my lifetime.
Now as a supervisor, director of construction, he's seen it all working his way up the ranks. At one point, there can be more than 3,000 shipyard workers putting in blood, sweat, and tears. So he says this position is one he takes to heart.
It's a legacy, really, to produce something that is so long-lasting and so strong and powerful. It's been a kind of a full circle of responsibility and growth in my career to be able to lead this excellent team.
It's a team that rounds out with Ebonique Dixon.
It has come a very, very long way.
She sort of encompasses it all. As a Hampton Roads local and 3rd-generation shipyard worker, this work comes naturally.
Just everything that needs paint on it, we do it.
She says it still hasn't processed that her duty, something as simple as a paint job, is an integral part of leaving her mark on American history.
This is an everyday job to me, so you still really don't think about it that way, but I mean, it actually is the first of its class.
So come the commissioning of the Ford, it means more than a ceremony. It's a symbol of patriotism in their way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to, go out and watch the first jet take off the flight deck.
It's not, oh, finally that ship's gone. It's never like that. The ship never goes away. It's always a part of your life.
The Gerald R Ford has most definitely had its share of growing pains. At $12.9 billion, it is coming in almost 2 years late and 23% over budget. Still, as the most sophisticated warship ever imagined, it took time to get it right, its supporters say. And they say that the Ford will help warfighters do what they need to do, which is to fight and win the wars of tomorrow.
This thing is going to be magic, and it's going to take them a while to figure out how best to use it.
Retired Rear Admiral Mike Groothausen flew jets and commanded the USS Harry S. Truman. He's excited about this next-generation aircraft carrier, the Gerald R. Ford, and how it will be a game-changer in 21st century combat.
They're going to find ways to make this thing truly more efficient. There's talks of being able to generate, instead of the normal 160, possibly up to 240 sorties during a normal flying day. That is, in and of itself, is a great move forward in our mobile airport capability, strike capability that we bring to the Navy. So I'm very excited. Do we need it? Boy, yeah, we need it now.
However, the Ford arrives with some well-documented baggage, including its high price tag and later than hoped for delivery. Groothausen blames lawmakers in Congress and a decade of continuing resolutions instead of proper long-term budgets.
It would be 10 times easier to build ships of this type if we had a 2-year budget or a 4-year budget. And quite frankly, that's what slowed Ford down a couple of times, was waiting for the next roll of the budget to keep the plans going.
And the whole thing came down to, well, we need to be able to generate more sorties. We need to be able to cut down on the number of folks aboard the ship because folks equals money.
Retired Vice Admiral John Mazak was there in the early 2000s when the key decisions were made on what the Ford was going to be. He served as Commander, Naval Air Force Atlantic.
At that time, we had a Secretary of Defense by the name of Don Rumsfeld. It was his second go-round as the Secretary of Defense, and he was pretty thorough and he was pretty focused on where it is he wanted to go. And he said, if you're going to design a new carrier, I want it to be transformational.
And so it was with the Ford, different than anything that came before, able to generate a third more sorties with 25% less people. President Trump was critical of the Ford's electromagnetic aircraft launch system, EMALS. He said it's no good and it would take Albert Einstein to figure it out. But Mazak has faith in the system.
EMALS has the ability to do what it is we need to do, and I think that's what's going to happen. And perhaps 20 or 30 years from now, somebody will have a discussion that says, boy, I'm glad those guys did that. At least I hope that's the discussion, because look at what we've done with it since then.
The system and the ship as a whole have at least one fan in 1st District Congressman Rob Whitman, who serves as chairman of the House Sea Power and Projection Forces Subcommittee. In a statement to 13 News Now, he said, I am encouraged by the Ford's recent successful completion of acceptance trials and look forward to her commissioning in July. She will be a vital asset to our fleet for decades to come, especially as we build up to a force of 12 aircraft carriers.
Before the Ford was ever delivered to the Navy, its infancy began here, straddled by this peninsula landmark. This crane that advertises Newport News Shipbuilding is known as Big Blue.
With the crane, that's someone that's watching as eyes to pretty much put this puzzle together.
Renee Lewis started working below Big Blue just as work began on the Ford 7 years ago.
The way we work is that we work in bits and pieces. And although we may not have the final, although we know it's a boat that's going to happen, pretty much we have to piece it in such a way that everything comes together in synchronization.
That means everything must come together perfectly. It is also, of course, necessary, especially when you get regular drop-ins from this woman. She is Susan Ford Bales, daughter of the 38th president, the carrier's namesake. The completion of the most advanced carrier in the fleet also marks the beginning of a new way all vessels will be assembled here at the shipyard.
So the carrier building back there that we're putting together for unit outfitting it's got 3 bays of about 120 by 120 footprint. Each of them has a 50-ton crane in it in order to lift things.
When a chunk of the work is done on the John F. Kennedy, currently being worked on in dry dock under Big Blue, the assembly process will take place in this new building, says Jeff Hummel, construction director for the carrier.
What we find is working undercover is much more efficient, both from a personnel comfort as well as avoiding rain and slowdowns from a weather perspective.
And it will get a lot of use too. Huntington Ingalls, the parent company of Newport News Shipbuilding, reports that they have a contract for the refueling and overhaul of the USS George Washington. And there's an advanced fabrication contract for the new Enterprise as well.
It's given us a really nice facility with all the cranes and services we need right there.
The building in the foreground will focus on another shipyard specialty, submarines.
The Navy gives us a 30-year shipbuilding plan. Okay, so we can plan for submarines 10 years from now.
Lucas Hicks was recently promoted from Director of Facilities to Vice President of Construction for the Kennedy. He tells us that if there were any concerns that there wouldn't be enough work to keep the 20,000 people here busy, consider that they have 12 Virginia-class submarines in various stages of construction right now.
In order to do that, we have to build facilities such as one behind us to prepare for the 30-year shipbuilding plan.
And that is beneficial for the surrounding community too, he says. The workers that are putting together the building do not work for the shipyard. They're contracted from the surrounding community and other states.
Well, the growth here has been ridiculous.
The 4th generation 26-year employee of the shipyard dropped an interesting fact about powering the 550-acre facility. An essential element to keeping work going on the shipyard is electricity, which Dominion Energy is paid $35 million a year to keep going.
And we have a pretty good relationship with Dominion Power. We're one of their biggest customers.
All of that power will be needed for the new technology that will be used to build the next generation of carriers and submarines.
The information that the deck plate needs to do their job was scattered all over thousands of drawings.
20 years ago, we would have done all our work off paper drawings, okay, and rulers and slide rules, and then we went to calculators, and then we went to computers, and the ships are now built and designed, or completely designed in a 3-dimensional product model.
Paper is becoming more and more passé here as the shipyard turns toward 3D technology, augmented reality, and laser scanning for planning to the construction of new Navy vessels.
The new generation's into technology, right? They're not into paper and rulers and things like that.
And Hicks believes that opens up a new world of opportunities for new types of jobs here at the shipyard.
You have to do what appeals to the new generation and where their skill set resides.
The manpower of Hampton Roads powering the future of the naval fleet.
It's a sense of pride that you have, a sense that I can point to something and say, I actually worked on it with my hands, and actually helped build something that's very important.
The special presentation, Gerald R. Ford, A Legacy of Service, continues next.